Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice Radio, so today I'd like to tell you about Pikachu. It's time we talked about Pikachu. Pikachu EX, of which there are several, we will mention them all, don't you worry, because there's a new tool card coming in Mega Dream EX over in Japan, which we assume means it's going to be in our Ascended Heroes. That's not confirmed, but it is highly likely. The thing is, we didn't talk about this before, because this was not a tool which I thought would, be just kind of popped nicely into another video. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that we needed to take a little bit of time about and have a good old chat about. Because this is a tool which helps Pikachu. And I really do mean it helps Pikachu. Like, it literally only works on Pikachu. It is a Pokemon tool that says, attacks used by the Pikachu EX, this card is attached to, deal 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. It only works if you hit the active, not the bench. Although, if I remember correctly, we don't have a Pikachu EX that can hit the bench right now. But either way, with future-proofing, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You never know. And it's only EXs that get hit. But more importantly, it's only Pikachu EX. This is a tool that works for Pikachu EX and only Pikachu EX. Now, just nice and quickly, I'm going to acknowledge and then move on from... We do have a promo Pikachu EX. I believe it came around in the Battle Academy. Free energy, 120, 200 HP. No. It's terrible. There's no argument here. This is the bad Pikachu EX. We're not going to spend any more time talking about this Pikachu EX. We're good. There we go. But there are other Pikachu EX that we do need to take some time talking about. And let's just go straight for the one from Surging Sparks. The one that had that amazing special illustration rare. The one which has seen significant play up to now. And it's been pretty much a year since I did that opening of Surging Sparks at the Pokemon Company office in London for the Guinness World Record attempt that we did. And I opened box after box of Surging Sparks. I pulled lots of cool cards, including 2 of the special illustration rare Latias. Yeah, I gave one of them to Joe, and will remind him regularly. But I never pulled a Pikachu. I'm not destined to have this card, this version of the card. And you know what? I am totally okay with this, because it is a very playable card and any version will do. It's got 200 HP, which is low even for a basic EX. But the ability Resolute Heart says if it's got full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. Yeah, it's really good. Like, really good. And of course, if you're using this as an attacker, it's free awkward energy, I grant you, but it goes down to 10 HP, at which point you can use Penny. Because there's no energy on there, you pick it up with Penny, you get to keep the tool, which is very important, and then you can just go back around. And yeah, I know the energy on Pikachu is a bit of an issue. I'm not arguing that the energy on Pikachu isn't a bit of an issue. One of the ways we saw this attacking really nicely was in Lost Zone decks with Mirage Gate, for instance. That was cool. That worked really nicely. Yeah, Mirage Gate's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Mirage Gate went a little while ago, and that's a bit of an issue, but because it means, we've lost that really good way to go and accelerate energy. Okay, not ideal. But the card is still literally seeing play. There were multiple decks that were playing that at the Latin American International Championships this past weekend. You can play it with Joltik box, because Joltik lets you search for 2 basic grass and 2 basic lightning and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So what you can essentially do here is use Joltik to set up 2 different Pikachu, each of which will now only need a Metal Energy to attach. And again, you've got that redonkulous ability. Don't forget about the ability. So now you're hitting 300, except it's actually 350. We'll talk about the relevance of that in a moment. but you've got the energy on there. It essentially becomes a single energy attack. Fine, you're giving up a Joltik. Oh no. You're letting a Joltik get KO'd. That's the downside. And you only need one Joltik attack here, let's be perfectly clear. One Joltik attack will do you nicely, because that'll set up 2 Pikachu. That's 2 swings for 350. You really should be able to finish the game out from there. So it works in Joltik box very, very nicely. Now, I know a lot of Joltik boxes, what they really try and do is go for the aggressive Iron Hands. And that is obviously still a really good play. But my point is, now in a game where Iron Hands is going to be the best, go aggressive into Iron Hands. Or, it's rotating in like 5 minutes anyway. Whereas in a game where you're against lots of bigger Pokemon where Iron Hands isn't going to be able to do the trick, that's where Pikachu EX can be gone aggressively with Joltik. And honestly, if you go full-on EXs, having one Joltik KO doesn't even change your prize map at all. We also see it being played in Terra Box decks. And yes, these are decks that do play the relevant energy so that you can actually attack with it. And by the way, whenever you're playing Pikachu, that is a Terra Pokemon. So in any Pikachu deck, the Noctowl engine is online. Using Fan Rotom to go and search out your Hoothoot, and then every time you evolve into Noctowl, you get to go and search for 2 trainer cards. Like, Pikachu's always been the best option for just a random, generic Terra Pokemon, because it's a basic, but it's also got an ability that stops it being one-hit KO'd. So if you just want a Terra Pokemon to have in play to use with the Noctowl engine, Pikachu's always been the best choice. It's just now, it's a much better Pokemon than it was previously. And then, of course, in decks like that, Crispin becomes awesome. Get an energy down turn 1, especially if you're going first and can't attack anyway. And then use Crispin, which attaches 1 energy and searches out another. Great for Pokemon like Pikachu that want different energy. And then, oh look, Crispin's got your back. And, it doesn't matter where the energy is attached, just use an energy switch and we're off and rolling. Things like Joltik, things like Crispin. I know Pikachu's got an awkward attack cost, but it is payable. And go on limitlesstcg.com right now. Search for Pikachu EX, and you'll notice that in day 2 of Latin America, there's 3 in top 32. I'm not counting that many. There's something like 20 odd day 2s, maybe more. Point is, it happened a lot. There were a lot of these around. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wossy, you keep telling us why Pikachu's good. Explain why that extra 50 damage matters. You know what? Now might be a good time for me to explain why that extra 50 damage matters. Let's look at the top decks around right now in the format. We have got Gardevoir. How much HP does Gardevoir have? 210. To put it another way, Pikachu's natural 300 damage won't KO. With this tool, you get the KO. Okay. Number 2 deck right now, Golden Go. Okay, fine, you one-hit KO in Golden Go anyway, honestly. So Golden Go maybe less of an issue here, because Golden Go, you were already getting a one-hit KO. But, being able to survive a hit whereas they can't, that seems like a win. But a number 3 deck right now is Dragapult. And yes, once again, we've got just over 300 HP. We got 320 HP. What that means is Pikachu normally doesn't get the KO. Pikachu with this tool now does get the KO nice and cleanly on a Dragapult. Mega Absol box comes in at number 4. And I know that technically Absol and Kangaskhan both have 300 or less HP, but your opponent is probably going to be trying to use stuff like Bravery Charm to get them just over that, so that you're not actually able to get a KO. Well, this will just completely nullify the Bravery Charm, and now all of a sudden, you are getting a one-hit KO in a way that you weren't before. Marnie's Grimmsnarl is the number 5 deck in the format right now. and you're going to start seeing a pattern here, and there's a very good reason. Marnie's Grimmsnarl has, drumroll please, 320 HP. I.e., Pikachu is normally just a little bit away, but now all of a sudden you get over. And let's go one more. Let's go to number 6. The number 6 deck in the format right now is Charizard, which has 330 HP. To put it another way, 5 of the top 6 decks right now have between 300 and 350 HP. I am assuming that the Megas have a Bravery Charm. What that means is Pikachu right now is in this incredibly frustrating place where it is just like 10, 20, 30 away from getting key KOs on most of the best decks in the format, but then falls short. This one tool puts Pikachu from 300 up to 350, and that makes literally all the difference. So basically, what I'm telling you is, it's always been a good card. It's got an awkward attack cost, but we can deal with it. It doesn't get one-hit KO'd. The problem is, as wild as it sounds, 300 damage wasn't enough for the investment that we were putting in. 350 absolutely is. By the way, I promised you other Pikachu EX. There are 2 others that are weirdly similar. We've got the one from Prismatic Evolutions, and we've got the one from Paldea Evolved. Both have 190 HP. Both have a single colourless energy 30. Both have 2 lightning, 1 colourless 220. The difference is the one from Paldea Evolved has free retreat, but when flipping tails you discard all energy from this Pokemon. The one from Prismatic Evolutions has 1 retreat, and the second attack does 30 to itself. For what it's worth, going from 220 to 270 is actually still pretty awesome, because what that does is it gets most basic EXs with a Bravery Charm. It gets most of those basic EXs which have extra HP. It'll get most Stage 1s EXs, but it still won't get Stage 2s. It still won't get Megas. I'm not a gigantic fan of it with them. I think it makes them better, but I don't think it makes them better enough to really be thinking, oh, Mono Lightning, let's roll. I still think it's not quite good enough. I think there is a very good argument for this new card being great, and I think the argument is that Pikachu from Surging Sparks, it just wasn't quite good enough. 300 HP wasn't getting enough key one-hit KOs, and the amount you have to put in was a little bit awkward. Even with all of that, it's still seeing a lot of play, but more so as an extra bonus, as a trick, as a tech, rather than being its own thing. And I sincerely believe that Light Ball now, Denki Dama, might be what makes Pikachu from, oh, that's pretty good, into, oh, that's pretty good. You know Pokemon wanted this card to be great. It hasn't been great enough. I genuinely think that might be changing. So there we go. I've given you my argument. I've told you what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about Pikachu moving forward with this tool. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Ray of Light, who's been a supporter of ours for quite a while now. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.